step it after. That was super dramatic.
Ooh, that was Martin inspired.
Martin inspired. Martin's the man. Okay, so that was 29:35. Okay.
Wow.
So
I got kicked out the show.
Oh, you can't watch anymore.
No, can't.
You didn't get one of the gifted.
I did not.
That sucks when a nice gifted gets done and you can't get it.
It's a joke at this point. YouTube is acting crazy.
Super dramatic, Malcolm. It was dramatic. It's all right. It's all right. We gotta put on the show. All right. So let's hop right into it because there are a few topics. Baby.
Yes.
Thank you for rocking.
No problemo. I got to go, guys. I got to go.
Doodle is out in the building.
Bye, Doodle.
Bye, Hardy. Thank you for rocking out, bro. That was a great show.
Yeah, it was. Have fun on your vacation.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
It's gonna be a fun vacay. Very, very happy.
Sing them a song.
Life is better when Doodle's here.
Wow.
Life is better when Doodle's here. Wow. Doodle's here.
Trying to make me feel bad.
Listen. Bam. Hold on. We're gonna do this. They're sneaky. So that sneaky little bunch. All right, hold on. Let me just double check. See what's going on over there. Make sure. All right, is that done? Okay. It's done and over with. Can't be. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Man, crack kills, guys. Crack kills. Okay, beautiful. Dunzo. Love it. All right, we're here. We're in the building. My love, I love you. Do you like the song? It was just for you.
Amazing.
Life is better. The Doodle's here. See that?
I need to hear that throughout the day.
Yeah. Well, I always got you, baby girl. Yeah. I mean, every time I sing during the day, though, you be trying to tell me not to sing.
Well, because it sounds pretty rough.
It sounds pretty.
I like the lyrics.
Look, Jonas the dad likes it. He says on point after dark, which with CMoney. I mean, sweetness money. Oh snap. Oh. Thank you, Jonas the dad, for acknowledging that.
Do a little
all right. Thank you. Thank you. It says make Doodle a mod. It won't kick her out. I did make her a mod. She is a mod.
I am a mod.
She's right there, a mod. Baby, when you go log in right now, you're a mod. She's a mod. Definitely a mod. Yeah. Oh, he said, oh, wait, she is. Okay. Well, see, he caught it without me having to say it. All right. Doodle, I don't think you can get in. Can you check?
No.
You can stay with us spiritually.
No, I can't get in.
You can't get in. Sorry, baby girl. Love you, baby. It's better when Doodle's here. All right. we're gonna leave Doodle's picture up for emotional, reasons. All right, I have it here. Let's get to it. All right, actually, let me write down what time we're actually going to start talking about this. Okay, so guys, aren't you glad you're not ponies? I know I am. All right, PlayStation don't give a fuck about anything that anybody feels over there. That's just the reality of what it is. There is a report by Jason Schreier, but also this guy, Noticias PlayStation, has gone ahead and put together some information for us. All right. So check this out. It says, oh, wait, hold on. Crack kills, guys. I did not go ahead and update this banner. Wait, gotta go here. Our boy Bounty building with the 20 gifted needs to be properly shown. Okay, Dunzo. Bam. Beautiful. Okay, let me adjust this so I'm not catching that part again. All right, so it's actually 3:30. Okay, so Yes, guys, I know you must feel it. I definitely feel it. Imagine being a pony. It's crazy knowing that this is what PlayStation feels about you, right? This is insane. Jason Schreier has an article that Noticias PlayStation took from, and then some other reports as well that all align to the same situation. Jason Schreier shared new information about the future of physical format on PlayStation. Sony considers that its digital player base is already large enough to do without those who continue buying games in physical format. The company will not change its retail distribution model. Stores will continue selling boxes, but these will only include a download code. Currently, when Sony sells a first-party physical game to a retailer, the latter gets around 30% of the sale, $70. With the 100% digital format, Sony would keep all of those revenues. As a result, the company expects to significantly increase its profit margins. Now, Hargi, I'm going to need you to translate that in a way that makes sense to me, because if they're still selling the box at a store, the store is still going to get a cut. Yes?
That was my question. I don't get what's like. So are they cutting down that percentage? Is that what's happening?
Well, I think when they sell those digital cards, it's a smaller, they get a smaller cut. So I think PlayStation's gonna be like, yo, we're putting a box, but it's actually not a box, it's just a card that we're selling. And it's gonna be on the onus of the retailer. Do they want to take retail space for these boxes that don't contain a disc that they're making a smaller margin on?
Well, I mean, if they're still making the 30%, then that's fine. But
That's
that's
if
the
they're still
question.
making 30%. I mean, now remember this, like, even though, well, let me ask you this. That 30%, that's okay. PlayStation is netting 70%, which means that 30% doesn't just include the store, right? It includes the store and like the physical disc, the making of the disc and all that stuff, right? So maybe in their mind, they're looking at it like, well, we go from 30 to 10% loss. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the retail only gets like 10% or 15% or something like that. So maybe they're just increasing their margin by a dramatic amount because they don't have to worry about the disc, which is obviously the disc would be the most expensive part of the box.
Probably. It's not that much, right? So like the case will cost them something.
Yeah,
and
but they could go
then
cheaper on the
will
case.
cost them something. I mean, they were making them themselves, right? So so it's not going to be too bad to themselves. So maybe it's a couple of bucks total. It'll be $1 or something like that. I don't know. It's going to be something. The physical case still does have a cost. So, but whatever. I just, and they still have to figure out how they're going to print those codes and whatever. They have to do all that crap, whatever. But I just don't understand what the percentage will be. Is it the same thing? They're still going to give them 30%? Because what's the incentive for the store to put it there?
That's the part that it confuses me. Because if it's not the physical game, if it's not there, is this just their like? Are they just banking on the fact that they think people are not going to want to buy a physical box that doesn't have the disc in it? So is this just a show? Like, oh yeah, go ahead, go to the store and buy the box with nothing in it but a piece of paper, or you can save the gas money or the time ordering it online and just go ahead and order it on the store, and you can preload and you can do all the fun stuff you get the benefit of having with a code that's online already.
Maybe, I don't know, but like if they are selling the code, that will allow some store discounts, right? So people can get it cheaper. But yeah, I don't know. Like the store has to have an incentive. In general, 30% is a pretty normal margin for putting something in a store. So I assume it stays the same. I don't know, but I haven't heard anything about it, so it's weird.
It is weird. It doesn't like it does sound a little weird. We do have the homie Jonas the Dad in the building. Shout out to Jonas the Dad, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here. Let me move Doodle. Oh no, there's no moving her. Sorry. Says so first of all, thank you, brother, for being here, man. Thank you for the $5 super chat, man. You're the man, dude. Appreciate you, bro. Says Sony is retooling the main factory to make AI parts. They can't go back even if they wanted to. Factory has already started to change over. Hashtag not buying a PlayStation 6.
Yeah, but look, there are other factories that make it, discs. It's fine. They can get it somewhere else. It's just a question of what is the cost to them. It's certainly cheaper if they were doing it themselves, right? But I don't. This is an interesting one. If they're still going to have it in retail, then they're still going to have to give them a cut. So,
it doesn't really make sense. Maybe they're just banking on people not picking it up. Maybe they're just banking that the people who want physical don't just want a physical box; they want the physical disc, and they're not making the disc, so people will stop going to buy the boxes.
And then you won't also be able to trade it in, right? That's the other thing. You won't have a secondhand market.
Agreed. So you're still getting that with no disc to trade in, right? So they're still killing the secondhand market.
Yep.
I wonder how GameStop is going to handle this.
They're not going to be happy.
Have they talked about it at all? I mean, I think this is the big thing for them. I think the older games will still be around. Like there's still a huge market for all the games that have already released. That it's really a nothing burger for them because honestly, people will just keep buying the old ones, and it'll actually help their used game market. If there's no more new games for people to buy at the store, it'll force people to buy some of the older games that exist. So maybe that's their way. I don't know. It sounds crazy. What's up, Anonymous Boss? I see you, homie. Well, let's continue this report. There's other reports from this. He says additional information from other reports. Sony would be convinced that over time, most players will end up accepting the transition to a 100% digital ecosystem. The company believes that users will continue supporting PlayStation even without the option to buy physical games. Additionally, they consider that it is not necessary to maintain direct communication with fans about this decision, as they trust in the strength of the brand and the loyalty of their community.
PS3 energy, bro. PS3 energy. Bro, get a second job.
That is definitely PS3 energy right there. Wow. So crazy. Look, I mean, obviously the first thing that just logistically comes to mind is what we already talked about. If they're still keeping the boxes in there, what does that mean for their margin? It probably means their margin doesn't change if somebody, they save a little money because they're not making disc anymore. And does that mean when they make those boxes, everything counts, right? It's maybe small, whatever, but do you lose the mold for the disc part? You know what I'm saying? The little circle with the little button that has to be molded so that you can keep the disc in there. Is it just now a flat box on both sides that has just a little clip to hold a piece of paper? I
assume that's what they're going to do, right?
Yeah, so it'll make the boxes a little cheaper, and although it's not like, oh my god, it's still, if it saves you a couple pennies every one that you make, it's still saved dollars, right? It's still money that is being saved. But aside from the logistics of how that matters, what's clear is that they're banking on the fact that all this noise is just that, it's noise, and that at the end of the day, people will just do what they're told by PlayStation, and that's it. And all the people who are really upset and emotional about it will just walk into whatever store they normally buy the box from, and they'll just buy it from there. I think PlayStation is hedging on the idea that most people who want physical want it because of the disc, not the box. So even if there is a small percentage of people who go in to buy these boxes with the code in them, I think it's going to be so small that the upside for them is still bigger. Like I think they're going to just convert a lot of people who are physical only into digital.
That's likely, right?
We did a poll on our chat the other day, where we asked, like, just in our chat, is there anybody physical only or is it digital? And nobody's physical only who's gone to our chat in that poll. They were all digital or a mix.
Yeah, and then you changed it to say, what if you're mostly physical? And then it became
that's
11%.
when people started doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And look, you're going to have a percentage like that, but it's possible, right, that is what happens. And as I said, I think the answer is, what does Xbox do? Because if Xbox puts it in their face and says, we're keeping physical, they're going to convert some people over. I don't know how much market share they'll get, but they'll convert some people over. If Xbox does the same thing, then the move is totally fine, because what difference does it make? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go, right? Like PC is already all digital. Xbox goes digital. You're going to go to Switch? I mean, maybe that's your refuge. Like what's left, right? That's it. You're kind of stuck. So if Xbox takes advantage of this and says, haha, suck it, Sony, we're going to like keep physical, then they could do some market share. Yeah. I think that's really the answer. It's just, what does Xbox do? But yeah, this is pretty interesting energy. I just got to say, it's like reminding me of the whole PS3 gen, where like coming out of that PS2, it's like, we sold the most consoles ever. Everybody's going to buy a PlayStation. Just shut up, go away, guys. And lo and behold, people are like, $600 though. I don't have $600. Like, oh, well, we got a console for you on the Xbox side. It's $300 without a disc drives, but hey, it's $300. It's like, well, heck, it's half the cost. It plays all the games.
Literally, though.
Like, why not? So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's quite an opportunity. It's quite an opportunity.
I think you're absolutely right. And the real question is, can they, like, would they be willing to do it? I think that's the question, because this is Xbox's game to lose right now, right? Like this there's certain once in a lifetime like moments that you either take advantage of or they go away forever. And PlayStation, to their credit, they went ahead and then that PlayStation 4 generation, that moment, they went and filmed something and edited it in the course of the day. Remember, that's back in the day when Xbox was in the morning and PlayStation was at night. They saw it in the morning, they filmed it during the day, edited it, and had it ready to go for their showcase. And they even changed, because they were supposed to be doing something similar, right? And they just changed their plan.
Yep.
This is the moment. Asha needs to go back and see that they have to capitalize on this, because it's never coming back. If PlayStation can successfully convert everybody over and not have any blowback, if Xbox gets on board, then PlayStation has smooth sailing for the rest of life. But if Xbox doesn't get on board, they're always going to be a thorn in PlayStation's side, where it's like every advertisement is going to be. Let me ask you this: when games are shown, what do they normally do? They always show the boxes of the games, right? They show the box, and they always have a PlayStation in the front, then the Xbox and the Nintendo, or sometimes the Nintendo, then the Xbox, right? But they always show the box. All of a sudden, it'll be an Xbox box, and then just or digital on PlayStation. I don't know, man. I think you're right. There's so much that they could gain from the retailers being on their side, from physical collectors on their side. This would be a huge
W if they pull it off. I mean, the couple of steps that I mentioned: introduce an accessory drive right now that hooks up to a Series S or an X digital box. Say that accessory will be compatible with Helix. Say that you're not going to stop physical. And then that idea that it was a Bunty who put it out there, just work with all the retailers and say, you know what? You want to come over to our side? Take your physical PlayStation discs over to GameStop or whatever store is in your country, and we'll give you the Xbox equivalent disc. Take home your physical library. And oh, by the way, we have this awesome disc to digital program where you can keep your disc, Put it in once. We'll give you a digital entitlement. Keep playing your game. Lend your game to anybody you like. No problems. Right? Trade your game in. No problems. We allow it all.
I mean, honestly, that would be a slam dunk, my dude. That would be
And
a
then go
slam
get Shuhei and Adam.
Adam and Asha. Asha has to put her stamp on it.
Fair enough. Just whatever combo. It was so hilarious to do that exact same thing.
So this is let's move on to this over here. Because obviously PlayStation knew that this was going to be a problem, or the PlayStation exec knew. So Sony CEO sells over half his stock following PlayStation disc announcement. Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki has sold more than half of his stock in the company. A recent United States Securities and Exchange Commission filing shows that the 61-year-old sold millions of dollars worth of stock just 2 days after the announcement that PlayStation was going to cease production of physical discs in January 2028. Yo, he saw the stock plummet and he was like, fudge this, I'm out. It also came during a time when the stock saw a slight bump in price after the news broke. He saw make a little bit of a bump because they were like, oh, we're gonna make more money, so everybody went up. He was like, this is not gonna stay this way. Let me sell. That's crazy. According to the SEC filing, Totoki sold 225,000 shares of Sony stock on July 3rd at $21.02 per share. Totoki pulled in roughly 4.7 million on the transaction. The 225,000 shares represented 56% of his total stake in the company. Following the transaction, Totoki was left with 173,000 shares, but he also wasn't the only executive to make a transaction after the announcement. What?
Wow.
What? Oh my God. Also filed on July 3rd, Sony Chief Strategy Officer Toshimoto Mitomo sold 25,000 shares of stock, representing around 18% of his total shares. He sold his shares at 2102 as well, totaling bro, this was a joint venture.
Oh yeah.
Isn't this like, wouldn't this be considered like insider trading? Well, I guess because it happened after, it doesn't count, maybe. But that's wild. All right. Since the sale of the stock, Sony's share price hasn't changed much. In fact, as a publication, Sony shares are trading slightly higher. Damn, that must piss you off at that moment. On the New York Stock Exchange, in the 8 days since the announcement, Sony stock is up 6%. What's 6% of 4.7 million? 240 and 420, 244 or 284,000, something like that. 244 or 284,000.
282, yeah.
282, yeah. So he messed up. He missed out on 280. He could have been almost 5 mil.
Yeah.
The announcement that Sony was ending the production of physical PlayStation games sent shockwaves through the industry. While many have come to expect it to happen eventually, the announcement still felt sudden, despite an 18-month buffer between now and when the change goes into effect. Since the announcement on July 1st, there's a change.org position tile, don't kill the disc, has amassed over 216,000 signatures. Sony, however, has yet to address any frustration. Okay, so this is the question. 216,000 people signed this thing, right? What is that? Is that a drop in the bucket? You know what I'm saying? Is that like, nah, we'll take the L? You know what I'm saying? We're good.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying, right? It doesn't matter to them.
It's insignificant.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, and look, a lot of their money is made on microtransactions. That's true as well, and those are going to be digital only. So I think they're like, suck it up. Too bad for you. But
I
yeah,
mean,
it is what it is, man.
now, in other news, I guess people were getting upset, and over in the EU, looks like the EU commissioner said they can't stop Sony or anybody else from scrapping physical discs. So they don't look at it as a protection to stop companies from doing digital only. Because I mean, to be fair, I mean, music has essentially done that, and movies for the most part, right? Like it's not a given anymore that there's going to be a physical
Well, I mean,
version
you
of
could
it.
just look at normal software, right? If I buy packaged software for a computer, do you find it physically anywhere? It's almost always all digital.
Not
So
anymore. Not
so
anymore.
it's not like it's something that has to be forced by a government, but no, it's just a consumer thing, right? And so we'll see how that works, right?
I mean, I guess so. I think it's a crazy time. But frankly, I don't think that PlayStation fans have the legs for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they do. I don't think they're gonna go the distance. I think they're gonna buckle just like PlayStation thinks they are.
Well, look, it's an interesting time, right? The opportunity is there. If Xbox is making games that people want and they're exclusive to them, it's going to be interesting to if Elder Scrolls 6 comes out exclusive to Xbox, how many PlayStation fans will actually hold the line and not buy an Xbox?
So let me tell you this. There's two versions of this. I think we're expecting Elder Scrolls to come later, right? So Helix
28
will
now, it
come
looks like.
before. Yeah, so Helix will come before that game. So the question is, the two versions of this is if Xbox does what PlayStation does and Elder Scrolls comes out and basically is a digital only experience regardless of what you do, versus if they, on top of having Elder Scrolls come out, they are also the only box that you can have physical, and not only just physical, but the best version possible of physical, where you can have your cake and eat it too, which is you can take your disc, put it in and play it, but also get a digital entitlement so you can take advantage of Xbox Play Anywhere or cloud or anything else that you want. I think in a world where Elder Scrolls is exclusive and Xbox is the exclusive holder of the physical disc, that is a place where movement can absolutely happen in a major way.
Yeah, because it won't be a disc for PC, right? So, so yeah, physical would be console only, but like you said, disc to digital, you'd have the entitlement for Play Anywhere. So
Yep,
awesome, right?
absolutely. Plus, how many? I mean, I know we're just talking about PlayStation, but let's flip it back to Xbox for a second. How many converted console players that went to PC would consider buying the Xbox version of a physical game just to convert it to digital so they can still play it on PC, but still get to collect the disc that they can no longer
Interesting
do?
point. Yeah, the only question is how do you do that conversion, right? You'd have to figure out a way to make that happen.
What do
So
you mean?
if they have their console, then that's fine. But I don't know if they'll have an accessory available
Oh,
on
oh,
PC,
oh, oh. Do
right?
we know?
So
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. I mean, maybe this is
we'll find out
a
next week, right? We'll
legit
find out.
question.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's a because remember this, if you're a Series S player, right? If you're a Series S owner and you don't have physical disc, but you now want to take advantage of this because this is now a open thing, how would they do it? I mean,
I know.
theoretically,
This is all
I think they
open
have
questions,
to
right?
release. I think they
Yeah.
have to release this tray.
A drive, right? We'll see.
And
I hope they do. And they say it's compatible with Windows. It's compatible with Series S and Series X, and will also be
they would
compatible
have
with
to
Helix.
make it. They would have to make it compatible with PC as well. The drive will
Yeah.
have to work on everything.
Yeah.
What would be? Well, let me ask you this: does the drive need to have anything special?
Yeah, there are some like encryption capabilities that they use, right? So I don't know how they're going to handle all that. Again, if it's Windows, maybe they have a way to do it, right? And it's really just a question of how they're going to handle it.
Well,
With
to
the
be fair,
consoles,
I think most people today don't even have disk drives on their PCs
yeah,
anyway. So
yeah.
this is a
I mean, I
universal
have
have to
4, but
buy this disk drive. Yeah.
but yeah, so again, I don't know what the path is going to be, but this will be interesting to hear next week, right? So we'll find out what they're going to do, and if there will be an accessory drive. Like I hope they do an accessory drive, and you can plug it into Windows, you can plug it into Series S and X, and it'll also be compatible with Helix. That'd be awesome. That would just totally like flip the script on PlayStation and say, nope, we're doing physicals over here. You can keep saying no over there. And have that PS3 energy. And Xbox will say, no, we have whatever you want. We're going to give you all the things you want to have. Right. So I don't know. It's a great opportunity. They don't come that often. So
Agreed. And real quick before we kind of hop into something else real fast, what do you think about this new movement? I don't know if you've noticed it, of developers really leaning into this. We're physical,
disc,
even though
right? Yeah.
literally it's 2 years away or a year and a half away before this even goes into effect. There people like these developers are using it now. Like, look, it's a disc. The game is on there.
Yep.
This one says that you can play it offline. So the whole game is on there, but obviously if you go online, you'll get the best version of it with the updates.
Yeah.
What do you think about this new kind of thing? Do you think it's stupid and everybody's kind of jumping on this, or is this more ammo? Like, is this more fuel to the fire that the devs are jumping in? Like, well, we're making it physical, and like we want our games to be physical.
I mean, from a PlayStation perspective, no, but it does say something to the other two platforms. Like Nintendo has not said anything, right? They're still continuing their cartridges. And if Xbox comes in and says we're still continuing physical, why not? It's more support, right? So if more people want it, what the hey? And look, there's nothing saying that this can't be at expense, right? So you could say, look, for us to do this on Xbox, we're happy to continue it, but the physical, and I think I've said this before, the physical might be $5 more because you have to pay for that physical, basically like Nintendo, right? The cartridge has a cost. So if you want the cartridge to have the game on it, there's a cost to that. You have to pay that cost, right? So fine. And so you just say, fine, we'll absolutely give you physical and we will continue it. We have no plan to stop. However, physical version of the game will be $75. Digital version of the game will be $70. You choose. We don't care. It's fine. Right? The cool thing with the physical, you can trade it in. You can wait for discounts. Go to bargain bin. You can get it secondhand. Whatever you want. Right? That's available to you.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's their workaround for bringing the disc to retail still. Make them more expensive.
Yeah. Right. And like I think it isn't the perfect answer, but it's an answer that might work for the customers because it gives you what you want overall. Right. You do still get the discounts that the stores give you. You do still get secondhand. You can still lend it to your friend. You can still trade it in. Right. All that stuff is still there. So I don't know. Seems like a potential answer. But we will see. I'm very interested in what they say. Right? It's the ball's in their court to totally take advantage of this situation. But yeah,
I really hope this is a Monday piece of news.
Oh man, it'd be awesome,
it would really suck if it's after. But
yeah, so
yeah,
but we'll see what they do, and developers getting in on it, like freaking all the other things that had nothing to do with it, like freaking Domino's is talking about it. KFC.
Oh yeah, Domino's, KFC.
Right? They're all like, we're going digital.
People are going into it.
So like, yeah, it's become a cultural thing. It is what it is, right? And so Literally balls in their court. If Xbox comes out and says we're not stopping physical, we're going to continue. Wow, what a win it would be, right? And we'll see if the Xbox tax starts to shift and it starts to go away. It's like, oh, we're doing what you guys want, even though it costs us money. We're doing what you guys want, right? It's like, fine.
Yeah, I agree. This is like really intriguing because this is going to show us where Asha sits with how gangster she is. I mean, this is the reality. Yep. Like, this is going to show, like, does she really mean business? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, is this real talk? Is she really coming out here swinging? Or is she just taking the easy wins and, you know, letting all the hard stuff, you know, still ride the same way and not try to take advantage? Because this, I mean, if she has been doing her research, she'll know that was a monumentally massive moment in the history of both Xbox and PlayStation.
She hired somebody who does that. Matthew Ball's entire role is understanding the game industry. So you don't think he knows this inside and out? You don't think they're consulting, figuring out how to make this happen, talking to Jason Ronald? What are we going to do? How are we going to make this work? Oh, I'm sure they already have plans like that. And even if it's like not concrete, it's like, I can do these things theoretically. Good, let's go. Because that's how she is. She moves. She's like, let's go. We're going to go. We're going to do this. Right? So, yeah.
That's true.
I wouldn't be surprised that they announced this holiday, you're going to get an accessory drive. It'll ship in November, right? Along with the X25, right? You'll get the ability to, right? You'll be able to buy an accessory drive for your Series S, for your PC, right? And we're going to do disc to digital.
That has a disc in there, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you already fill out your form?
Oh yeah. Immediately.
Me too. Oh, I'm so happy. I was like, it came. Yeah. It came. It was glorious.
Yes. So, but yeah, like it would be an awesome moment, right? And it would be hilarious what would happen on PlayStation Land. But let's see. Like, I just want to see what they do with it. A couple of days away, we'll find out.
Facts, big facts,
yeah,
100%. All right. And then I got one more for us. And that is over here when it comes to Blizzard and some other Xbox stuff. Some other Xbox people. Let me see over here. 1-407-20. Okay, so listen, obviously these cuts have happened and they were big cuts, right? They were really big cuts. 1,600 people went home, but that's half of what's going to happen. Not half of maybe will happen. She announced 3,200 people roughly are going to be gone. Okay, this is not that moment. This is not that moment where it's just like kumbaya, we'll see what happens. No, 3,200 are gone. 1,600 people will be going. And the story that Bloomberg put up says delayed Xbox layoffs leave employees scared and nervous. Says Xbox cut 1,600 jobs this week and plans to cut another 1,600 over the next 12 months, leaving remaining staff on tenter hooks. I don't know what's a tenter hook. So I feel like that's an unnecessary word to use, Jason Schreier. You ass. You know what I'm saying? Why you tenter hooks? You couldn't. Who in the chat right now, without Googling it or using AI, can tell me what a tenter hook is? Be honest if you know right now. Let me know if you actually know without looking it up. Did you know, Hargeet, without looking it up?
Not really. No. I mean, I can guess, right? I can guess.
I mean, it's a hook. But what's a tenter hook, right? Nobody in chat. That's right, because that's a made-up word. Okay. What tent is it? A hook that you hang tents from? I don't know. It sounds dumb. Do you have the definition over there?
Yeah, so I'm looking at Wikipedia. It says tenterhooks or tenter space hooks are hooked nails used with a device known as a tenter, a wooden frame used since at least the 14th century in the process of making woolen cloth, over which wet cloth would be stretched to prevent shrinkage as it dries, but now superseded by the stenter in the textile manufacturing industry. The phrase on tenterhooks has
What?
become a metaphor for nervous anticipation.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. That is some stupid shit. I'm sorry. That's some dumbass shit to use. Are we from the 14th century? Are we in the
Yeah.
14th century? Who knows anything about this stuff? We're in the games industry, man. What are you talking about? This guy. Oh my god, what a clown. He looks like a clown in real life, and he talks like a clown here too, apparently. But let's continue. Cruel uncertainty. You know what's not cruel? If he just fired everybody right now, right? Would that be not cruel? Not for you. Would that be better, guys? Right? Just get them all gone, right? Fire everybody now. Come on, man. All right. So before we even read this, because obviously they're gonna start crying about this. I don't want anybody pre looking. Okay, let's stay here with they're terrified and scared. Okay. What is your let me I want to know what your initial thoughts and now what your thoughts in general are right now of the idea that they didn't do the 3200, that they said 3200 and told you, hey, 1600 now, 1600 by the next fiscal year 2027. And she said, we will have everything profitable or in our margins better by then. When you hear that split, when you heard that split, what was your initial thoughts, and did it change over time till now, since it's been a week, or over the course of the week? Like, what is your initial feeling of why they did 1600 now, 1600 over the next 12 months?
Well, I don't know what the particulars are of the studios that are leaving. Are they part of the next 1600? Are they part of this 1600?
No, that's
So,
part of this 1600.
because what I understood was that's not the case. Is that the second set of 1600, because they haven't actually divested yet. So part of it is going to be once they've actually sold off the two and then let go of the other ones, because they have to do all the actual paperwork and all that. That those
Oh,
employees will
gotcha,
be part of the
gotcha.
second 1600. And
So,
then we
okay,
don't know what's happening
that
to
actually makes sense.
Arcane.
Because 1600 are gone now, but they're
Yes,
technically in a process of being
they're
gone.
still
So they
there
they are going to count in the 1600 to come
in the second
over the next 12
1600.
months.
And
Yes,
that includes
that makes sense.
Arcane, which I'm assuming is also going to be sold off or divested or something, right? So that's a
They're
big
probably
chunk of
just
it.
going to be just have layoffs.
Yeah. So whatever's happening there, I think that's going to be a part of it, right? And then there's probably going to be, hey, game XYZ finished. We don't necessarily need all that talent there anymore. Let's take that down. Say, for instance, Clockwork Revolution. Like every other studio, it's likely that they bumped up the studio size when they decided to invest in InXile. Maybe that's going to be like, well, let's go back to the way you used to be, where you were nimble and you could do what you needed to do with a smaller set of people, right? So maybe that's what they're looking at. I don't know that it's Blizzard. It might be, it may not be. Blizzard's also pretty profitable, so I don't know that that's necessarily an issue over there. But could there be some like structural things, like the multiple layers of management issue that Asha was pointing out? Sure, that's a possibility, right? And maybe it was like, well, we couldn't really handle it with Blizzard right now. We'll think about it later. That's a possibility. I just don't know if it is, right? There's also the behemoth that is Activision, right? And you could say, okay, maybe it's over there. And again, I don't know what the mix is. It could also be Halo Campaign Evolved is done. Let's like shrink that down and then look for opportunities to make it work in a different way, right? So that's another potential, right? I don't know what her thoughts are on where that's going to be, but I would expect part of it is game needs to be released. Let's let them finish game, and then we'll see what we need to do with that studio, right? So those are the kind of things I would think about, right? It might be in our head that like after Clockwork, we're just going to jettison In Exile. That might be another thing, right? I have no idea, right? So we will find out, right? Those are the kind of things that come to mind. I just don't know, right? So,
But was that your
but
initial thought, or is that what you've come to feel throughout this week?
that's where, because like 1600 today means you're getting rid of them today, right? I don't think that's the case with the studios because they're not done yet. They haven't even told us who's buying. So until that paperwork's done, they're still your employees.
But
So
Double Fine and Compulsion have technically been said that they're getting everything back. That sounds like the ink is dried on those deals.
I don't think it's dried. I think they've got a legal framework to move forward with, and
You know
then you
what? I
will
can
find
check
a
their Twitter right now to see
yeah,
if if either of them have already dropped the Xbox name. Nope, it still says an Xbox Studio. I feel like Compulsion would have dropped the name already.
yeah. So
And
I think they're
Double
still in the
Fine,
legal framework, and this it's going to take some time. That it usually does, right? Something like
uh,
that. They were trying to get to a
Double
point,
Fine, Double Fine has no Xbox.
but they may never have, right? And so I
True.
don't know that they're actually done yet. So my guess is that
Oh
will
no, no.
happen over the
It
next
says
few
an
months.
affiliate of Xbox. They have like a little button next to their name.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they will probably finish that up in the next quarter or so because legalese it just takes time. It just is what it is, right? So let's say in the next 3 to 6 months they'll be gone, right? So I think that's what they're talking about here. So again, I don't know how many employees that is. Maybe that adds up to like 500 of the 16. I don't know. I have no idea, but that's my guess. Is like it's these studios are jettisoning. That's a big part of it. And then after some games are finished, they'll see what makes sense for those studios. And again, I don't, In Exile might be something they're like, well, we don't need you, go away, right? And so they get jettisoned off. That might be a case, or they might shrink it down, or whatever else, right? It just depends on what's going to be, their objectives after the games come out. So that's kind of where my head's at.
Okay.
Is everybody afraid? Of course, but who cares? This is normal. Like, does anybody expect their job is always guaranteed? No, anything can happen at any time. It's at will employment. So sorry, but like, good luck. You're always up for potentially being let go. That's just the way it is.
So this was my take on it when I heard it. I feel like sure, there's certain things that are can't be done, like Arcane Leon. How many people are going to be allowed to be let go by France, when France decides what can happen over there? How long does it take to close the deal, or the deal could be closed, but even when you close the deal, there's still a date when that deal actually happens, right? So like you signed the deal today, but that doesn't mean it's happening right this second. Things have to change over, and everything, all the systems have to change over, and they have to be removed and all this other stuff, which takes time. So they're not going to leave people on their payroll and just say, yeah, go over there, right? So they have to do all of the required stuff, and all the paperwork on the IP and the catalogs and all this stuff, right? So that's going to take time. So there's things that they can't deal with, but I believe that the rest of it, she is going to be looking at performance. I think she's going to look at, just like you said, let those games finish, right? Well, how do those games do, right? If the game comes out, are people excited? Are people buying it? Is it selling a lot? I think that's going to determine the severity of any impact on that studio. I also think that they're going to look at what's happening with the studios that they have right now that already were impacted. I don't think this is, if your studio had cuts, you're free from any further cuts. I think that they're going to see who falls in line, who goes ahead and does what they're supposed to do. Now that management has accountability, there is no more hiding. There is no more saying, oh, well, this person didn't do it, or no, it was this person's fault. One person's taking the blame. That person is not going to take your shit anymore. That person is not going to cover for your lack of ambition and drive and work and your and the quality of your work. Everything, I believe, is going to be under observation. They're going to scrutinize everything. And I think as things unravel, you're going to see more cuts in places that already had cuts, and you will see cuts in places that haven't had cuts. For instance, Blizzard, right? They do operate at a profitable level, right? I feel like Arcane in general, Activision in general, already had their ducks in a row, right? They weren't floundering with money. They already did all the cuts before they got bought to make that scenario work out. And then they had cuts already from Xbox. So I feel like there's not going to be a ton coming from that area, but what do they have coming out and how successful it is going to have an impact. Do we see is Elsewhere, that new studio? Is their game going to be ready in time? Just because it wasn't cut yet, there's going to be, you don't think they're going to have, milestones that are now very serious? Like, hey, we like what you guys have done, but we're not wasting money. The money that was committed to you is it. So from now to then, this is the performance we expect. And if it's not there, you might be gone, right? Remember, she said the games that were announced have not been canceled and won't be canceled. We haven't heard any game from Elsewhere. We haven't heard any games from 100 Star. We haven't heard about any of those games from any of these outside deals that they have too. They can cut all these deals, but Elsewhere is an actual studio of theirs that can either be shuttered. They can just shut it down completely. We don't know how many people work there, but they can close it if it doesn't live up, if they don't meet their performance gates. So I think, to me, that's what that meant. To me, it meant that that everything, like, these are the people they know they can do without. They know that this is fine. This is what the studio needs to function. These people did not deliver, what they wanted to. Or it's just the studio didn't deliver what they wanted to. So we need you to cut this many people. You figure out who needs to go. But I think going forward, it's, what have you done for me lately? Performance reviews, all this other crap, it's all going to take place. I think that's what the next 12 months, that's why they're scared, because there's no chill. There's zero chill anymore. Let's call a spade. Even though you don't know when your time at your job is up in general, if there's no looming presence of layoffs coming, for the most part, you're not that stressed. You're stressed with the work, but not about your job, right? And I think that that's going to change. I think these people are going to be like, we need to do this. G maybe says he heard about, or he thought they mentioned hardware. No, hardware people are safe. Hardware people have been mostly safe. So from the look of it, it seems like they're not they're not changing course on Helix. They're just trying to figure out how to get it in your hands cheaper. But they still have the whole team working, and it's not only Helix. Whatever else they're working on, it's clear their hardware ambitions have not changed. If they were like hardware, let's be clear, all the hard work for the most part on Helix is done. So if they were planning to get out of the hardware game, then this would be the perfect opportunity to cut people. But they haven't. Now, to be fair, 1,600 people are still going to go. Technically, that can happen. Maybe after they ship Helix, maybe they know that's going to be the last console for a while, because they're going to be doing OEM work. So they just need the software team, and maybe if they're doing a handheld, I don't know. There's a lot, but I know like marketing got hit. Like I don't know if you guys like follow Aaron Greenberg, but he rarely posts on LinkedIn, and he did a post like people in my division, my department have been let go. I'm here to help. I want to get them in front of you. Whatever we need, I'll vouch for them. Like he's already on it in that respect. So, I mean, ultimately, I think for me, I think that's why it's happening this way. I think she wants to learn more, right? Because remember, she said she was in the learning phase, right? And she did that. She learned, she saw stuff, she's good to go. But now in this scenario, she's going to learn who can rise to the occasion, right? Like who is going to stand out, who are going to be leaders. Like there's a lot that's going to come from this. You're going to have people, you're going to have new stars that are born within these companies because they rise to the occasion and they deliver like they've never delivered before, and they outwork everybody. And then you're going to have the people who can't cut it, the people who crack under the pressure, and they will go. And I'm sure you're also going to see voluntary dismissal. I'm sure you're going to see people who are just looking for another job because they don't feel safe in this job and they're going to go. And I think that will all count for Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So people who just go get another job, people who leave, that'll all count as well. I think she's smart. I think she knows having this cloud of death hanging there is going to be either a motivator or a deterror, and it's going to get rid of dead weight and is going to make people rise to the occasion. I think you're going to see some of the best work that these people can do out of this type of scenario. But I don't know. What do you think about that idea, Hargeet, that this is going to be this is the Hunger Games in game dev, right?
The Hunger Games. Well, I don't know about the Hunger Games, but no, I mean, you're not wrong in that is going to be part of it. I think it's going to be evaluations of everyone. So it is what it is, right? So I don't know that that people should just assume that I find it very odd that people would think that their job is safe, because nobody's job is safe. Even Satya Nadella's job is not safe at Microsoft. He can be replaced, right? And so why would they think that anybody's job is safe? It's just the way it is. So, like the idea that it's somehow cruel or something, come on, like that word should be reserved for things that really are in fact cruel. Like that. This is just a job, and a job's come and go. It's just the way it is. And is that good or bad, whatever. I mean, it's sad when you lose your job. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that like your life is over. You just find something else to do, bro. It's like, come on. So over emotional like crap like that is just it's not useful. Right? It always stinks when people lose jobs. That's fair. But they're not the only ones. Like in the entire planet, this happens. Like, why is this somehow the biggest deal? Right? Like, come on, you're not starving. Like, we have freaking all sorts of facilities to help you and whatever, right? You'll find something else. It's okay. Like, maybe not in gaming, but you'll find something. It's okay. You'll survive. Don't worry.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Well, I think at the end of the day, it be what it be. I'm still overall. I was on your page 100%. As soon as I saw all the news, I tweeted about it. This is 100% the best case scenario for Xbox. I think that this was the absolute best way for this to be handled. I think Asha crushed it. I also think that it was a lot easier to swallow this pill because the pill that was built up before the news came was everybody was dead, every studio's closed, every game is canceled that was shown on stage, like all these horrible scenarios. And it turns out people just lost their jobs. Now, that's not a great thing, but that's not a bad thing for the business of Xbox if they have to let people go. A bad thing for the business of Xbox and the fans are closing your studios. That means that that's one less resource that can produce something for you. Canceling your games. That's horrible for your fans, right? Your people who are expecting these games, excited for these games. That's horrible. None of that happened. No studio closures, no games canceled. And honestly, that also backs up why Arcane is not going to be canceled. I mean, are closed because of Blade. If you close Arcane, you cancel Blade. She already said they're not canceling any of the games that were announced. So I think it's just these other countries, when you're doing mass layoffs, it doesn't have to be closures. When you do mass layoffs, you have to go through the proper channels. They don't just let you lay off a whole bunch of people in some of these countries. So I think they're probably gonna get rid of a lot of their. Remember, some people went from the other Arcane to Leon. You know what I'm saying? Remember, they shuttered one Arcane and moved them over. So maybe this is just, you didn't really add the value, so it's time to go. I don't know. But ultimately for me, the best case scenario. And I'm hopeful. Let's leave it off at that. How do you feel overall about Xbox right now with all the moves they made and what you think is coming?
Look, I think there's necessary corrections that needed to happen, and it's unfortunate that goes through people. There's no way around that. A leadership change does usually end up changing some of the organization, and that restructure does usually end up in layoffs. That's just the way it goes, right? That also brings opportunities for other things, right? So we'll see what else happens, and we do have some direction with the vision. So overall, I'm trying to be glass half full with this to say, hey, look, there's potential for this to be a good course correction in a direction where Xbox can try to gain market share, and that's up to them to push, and actually make it happen, right? It's not easy. There's a lot of headwinds, right? The AI crap that's happening in the world that's making all the hardware ridiculously expensive is not an easy thing to then try to gain market share when you're making your boxes more and more expensive instead of less expensive. That's a big headwind, right? But look, you play your cards, like you do what you can, and she's trying to find the right answers. And up to now, she's been reading the room pretty well, and she's been like responding as it should. And like here's what needs to happen. And she's just going through it. Like it's been pretty impressive because this is a person that doesn't know gaming, that came into this world and has done a lot of cool things, understanding how to change that engagement model to work with the customers that she the core customers she has, and then try to go beyond that as well. I think that there's a lot of room for potential here. So like potential for growth. But it really does come down to execution, and getting somebody like Matthew Ball, who's already who understands the entire arena. That's a good move, right? There's several good moves like that she's been making. So I mean, look, there's potential for hope here. I think there's a potential for a good outcome on the other side. There's also potential for a total disaster on the other side. But I'm just going in glass half full that, hey, you know what? Like some of this was probably necessary. The direction that was, they were going was not working. It just wasn't. We could see it, right? And obviously that required the leadership change, and that's where we are. And with that change, she's been doing what she can to kind of like solidify the base and then try to expand from there. And that's a good set of steps to do. Will it work? I don't know, right? She just got handed a massive opportunity from PlayStation. take advantage. I hope she does. And she's been really good at reading the room. Hopefully she reads the room pretty well and comes up with an answer, right? And just smacks them in the face and says, "Hey, I've got you. I've got you covered." Right. And so I'm liking where we are. I'm not liking the fact that people have to, lose their jobs, but I also don't like the fact that my Game Pass is changing and I'm not getting all the games I used to like. But that's life. At least those
You,
studios are there. They can make smaller scale versions of the same things. They'll be available, right? So,
you know,
let's hope for the better.
it's funny because I was talking with Doodle. It's funny you mentioned Game Pass. I was talking with Doodle, and as annoying um as it is in general, that I know that Game Pass is now going to be less than, because they're not going to be producing their own games, enough
Yeah.
of them to keep putting them in there. um I'm just taking a wait and see approach, just kind of like how you are when it comes
Yep.
to Game Pass specifically, because I just want to see what's coming into what is their plan for Game Pass when it comes to third party. If they put enough interesting, cool third party day one games in there, um, then it'll be worthwhile for me to keep. Um, but they have to put like good ones. If they're just putting like, a bunch of no name stuff that's, not really that exciting to me, um, then I don't know. I might bounce back and forth between, smaller and bigger, and, do the cheaper one for while I need it, or, go up to the bigger one when I need it. Just depends, on the situation. Um, but I'll see. I'm less like I was very like adamant against changing Game Pass. But now, like, you know what?
It's
It is what it
not
is.
much you can do about it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So,
Like, if it happens, then I just won't subscribe to it, and just, play whatever I gotta do. I'll get the games I want to get. If it's in Game Pass, great. I'll get it cheaper that way. If not, then I'll see. I don't know. Right now, I have no plans on stopping subscribing. But we will see as time progresses, right? What, like, for instance, this particular week, or this particular drop that's coming up. I don't know if you saw it, but it's not great. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's uh there's nothing really enticing to me. It's like the headline is Gears Reloaded. And it's like, I guess that's going into premium now or whatever.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and it's like, that's not a great headline. Your headline shouldn't be a game that it was already in Game Pass and now it's going to premium. Your headline should be a new game that's exciting for us ultimate subscribers. And
Yeah.
then, oh, hey, premium guys, guess what? Your big game is Gears is coming, right?
I mean, to be fair, July's big game is Halo, right? So that's going to be there, but I don't know if you count that as
Yeah, but that's the end of the month, right? So
yeah,
for all of July, we don't know what the second wave is yet. We're still in the first wave.
yeah.
But obviously Halo will be the second wave hero, right? So is it just going to be surrounded with a bunch of similar type of
But
small
that's the
stuff with
thing they have
nothing
to work
exciting?
out. Yeah, is can they get bigger? Like, look, getting more personas, getting more things like that. They need to kind of figure that one out, right? The more they can do that, the better it'll become, right? So
But they
if
have
this
to be
frees up
coming out
capital for that,
soon.
that's great.
You know what I'm saying? Because we can
Yep.
wait, right? I could be like, okay, cool, Persona and Stranger Than, oh, no problem. Cancel until then, right? So, like, they need to keep that wheel spinning, right? They need to keep me engaged, keep me
Yep.
a reason. Because I like what I will see probably happen is, I'll probably drop one of the Game Pass, and then, because I have three, right? So we'll drop one, and then, like, if it's just a bunch of smaller stuff, then I'm not gonna even bother having one for uh for Doodle, right? We'll just rock off of mine whenever something cool comes out, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll just sub in that moment, right? That's the problem, right? What if they can't find a rhythm to keep somebody like me who always is subscribed on, then I'll just do the dance, and that's gonna be a loss for them, because I will kind of dip in and out as it makes sense
Yep.
for me. So, hopefully not. Gentle Stone says, woo wah, not good enough for you, CMoney. That's what was that? Wuthering Waves. Did you try that,
Yeah.
Hargeet?
I have not tried to install it. I just installed it.
I played it on stream yesterday,
Yeah,
and
not for
I
you.
did not care for it. No, it's the combat. The combat is generic but slightly interesting as you kind of play a little bit more, because then you could switch off at any time instantly between your party members, but it's one at a time. So like you're fighting, and then it's almost like a fighting game where you can just switch them in and combo. It's not bad in that respect, but the talking, oh my god, it takes so long and so slow paced, and then everything else in between is really generic. And graphically, what a letdown. What a letdown. It's very, you guys heard me bitching about the possibility of an Avowed 2. This is not nowhere near Avowed 1. Oh my god, it's so bad. Outside of the character models. So yeah, no. And G maybe says it's a gotcha game. Yeah, but you know what? Shout out to Genshin Impact. That's a beautiful game. That's a beautiful game. The world is beautiful. This is not that. This is low budget gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Low budget gotcha. Not a good look for me. And it's like 120 gigabytes or some crazy odd, like some big ass number. I was like, man, this thing must be gorgeous. It was not. It was not. All right. Guys, thank y'all for rocking. We're gonna wrap it up here, man. Appreciate you guys for coming through. This is the end. Remember, we will be back on Monday. We will be going away on vacay, so we won't have any of the shows that we normally have outside of Monday. That whole week, Monday, then nothing else the rest of the week. Then the following week, nothing else until Saturday. Okay, so Monday, a weekend in the middle, then Saturday after that. Okay, that's where we're gonna be. So just make sure you come through on Monday, man, so we can say our goodbyes. I'm not gonna say goodbye to you today. It's not gonna happen. Nope. Be there Monday to get the goodbye. Okay. It's the only time you're gonna get a goodbye from us is on Monday, not today, homies. All right. So shout out to you guys. Thank you all for the support. Thank you for coming to rock through. Thank you everybody super chatted and gifted memberships. You guys are awesome. The homie Hargeet, thank you, my brother, for being here, rocking out with us. You are awesome. Why don't you let everybody know what you got going on, bro?
Yeah, so I'll be on with Web Dave on Sunday. Check that out, and we'll see what's going
Mr.
on.
Dave.
Hopefully hopefully no news over the weekend, but then we'll find out what happens next week. And I guess
hope
we're
it's
off for a
Monday,
week here,
man.
so
Xbox,
yeah,
don't
right?
play me. We got one show next week. Drop the news on Monday. All right, drop the news on Monday.
Yep, yeah. And otherwise, I guess we'll catch up in a couple of weeks, right? It'll be a little while.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's Saturday. Yep. So all right, man. Well, guys, thank you again. Appreciate you all. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and end the show the way we end every single show. Doodle. We're done. Until next time, you're intruding.